Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to your mama's favorite podcast, The Hardest Part of the Ring. So how was everybody's weekend?
It's pretty good. Can't complain.
I know you went to Philly. How was that?
It was a good convention. Yeah, it was good. Just gonna leave it at that.
You cosplay?
No, I went for a press.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what about you, Tehran? You watch some good wrestling this week? Somewhat.
I'm all sweaty.
Oh.
My balls and my butthole.
Oh.
It's 101 degrees right now.
All right. And with that, welcome to the hardest part of the ring, home of the better than the best Tehran Bishop's sweaty balls.
Hi.
And Prince Petty
Is back from Philly, obviously. Good con, in quotes.
Yeah, the Geekdom Con 2019. It's pretty good.
And as always, I am the king of edit, strong style, Jacob.
The bottom.
Oh God, no!
God, is that
it's not what I want. No,
it's never.
Go away. It's never not.
He's
it's
in
never.
my phone as Jake the Bottom.
Oh my God!
Since we had that one episode,
Jesus
I was like, all right,
Christ.
easy.
Yikes.
This is not what I signed up for. Okay,
Yikes.
gross.
Let's just jump right into it. Right?
Yeah. So the internet kind of exploded initially when Moxley's trailer came out, and then all of a sudden he resurfaces in trending at Double or Nothing, obviously, but we'll get into that later. But now he came out firing on all cylinders on Talk is Jericho just yesterday.
Yeah.
And literally, like I said, held nothing back in his talking about the company. And honestly, guys, it really kind of affirmed what we've been saying for a long time. And
that creative as shit.
Yeah. Like, it's just a couple of points that I saw that out of the cast that I just wanted to kind of take note of. So the first thing is this man had wanted to leave since July of 2018.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a long time this dude's been miserable, you know? And a lot of the points that he made, a lot of the things he cited, was reasonable, you know? I got to walk around with a plant. You know, you want me to walk around with a pooper scooper. Like, this is a major talent. And I go back and think about some of the classic talent. Would you have The Rock walk around with a pooper scooper? Would you have Stone Cold Steve Austin? Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, would you do that? You wouldn't, you know?
Exactly.
Maybe some mid-carder, but this is a guy that you consider in high regards. Another thing that I really didn't care for, not from Moxley's perspective, but from the WWE's perspective, is the way that Vince wanted to use Roman Reigns' ailment
as a storyline.
And that's so unprofessional, so uncalled for, quite frankly. That's gross. Like, why would anyone ever?
I wish we could have heard what that second line was that he refused to say. I think we'll get it later on down the road, but if it was bad enough to where he wouldn't even say it on the podcast and he's spilling like all the tea to Jericho, it had to be bad.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other two parts but the podcast that I kind of had strong takeaways about was the fact that he only got paid $500 for his last show.
That was
fucking
the Shields,
ridiculous.
The Shields' last show.
$500.
Yeah.
And like Jericho said, Dean Ambrose quoted Jericho saying, like, you told me once that you didn't get out of bed for $750. So for him to do that, get $500, that is an ultimate slap in the face. Granted, like, he took it, on the chin and laughed it off, but that is an absolute.
So you just took a $500 pot home, and that's just crazy to me. Like, it's ridiculous.
Like the ultimate fuck you.
Right. And then it's hot. He really creative, and it's something that we talk about all the time. Is creative.
Yeah,
right?
We talk about how the frustrations, but I think it's really funny too how he was very much how it seemed to me like the writers that he would collaborate with either A, did not know what was going, like it seemed to me like it was a different person each week, which I feel like that consistency matters. And then another thing is that if everything gets reviewed by Vince, they were able to like sneak in that promo before him, and I'm like, that's never something that you should do, right? Like you should always, like you shouldn't hope something doesn't, he doesn't see something. Like you should be like, here's this is why we should do this, you should listen to me. And instead he's like, oh well, I've been doing this for a very long time, so I know what's good shit, right? In quotes. I was appalled at how it was just like, because for the longest time we speculated like, oh my gosh, he runs everything, and then for him to actually like say that this is how he does it, being that to a T what we've been saying that's what he does, it's very disheartening, quite frankly, and you can't wait for the XFL at this point.
Yeah, it sounds really cold, but it just comes a point, right? And I understand it's his dream. I understand he put this together. We wouldn't be even talking about this or having the opportunity to speak on what we're speaking on right now without Vince McMahon. It goes hand in hand.
Of course.
Can't take it away.
No.
But sometimes you got to drag that motherfucker behind the barn and shoot it in the head.
Whoa.
And Triple H needs to be the one to go ahead and just do that. Mm-hmm. Triple H save us.
Yeah.
In real life, like Triple H needs to come and save us.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Anything y'all have from the
Moxley?
pod? Yeah. That y'all took away from
There was a couple of key things that I took away from it. One of the main things was how much control Vince had over Moxley and all the other WWE creative. Like it's not just it seems like creative is like the middle point, and then Vince has everything else coming through. Yeah. So towards the end, even he said that, they were upset because there was no amount of money that they could have thrown Moxley's way that he would have re-signed. And I think what I fucking love that he did was he went through his whole contract, did the right thing. And then at the end, like he did everything you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, he comes out and tells everything as it is.
Right.
Like Vince even called him while he was shooting that promo video for John Moxley.
Yeah.
And he didn't necessarily lie. He was like, hey, I'm working on a film thing. I'm not doing the European tour. Not that he was going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But like he took all the right steps. Like he put in his due time. He didn't not to like bang on Sasha Banks or any of the ones that came out on social media. And just said, hey, I want my release. Like this man held it in. Like talk about bottling up emotion. And you're just like, ugh.
Well, he had to do it for two reasons, if you really think about it.
His wife.
Yeah. Which is the first ever female commentator.
Yeah. And she does a really good job, too. But
they don't try to shut her down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
I don't
the
think
thing.
so.
They had that meeting with her before Raw on, I guess it was like a private meeting. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. I didn't think anything was wrong with her on Raw.
The worst thing they can do is to start some drama and some heat right now.
Just push her out of the company.
You push her out.
I can't see them doing that.
Yeah.
But Renee is going.
I don't think so. WWE would look petty as shit. Not that they wouldn't, but I think they already look bad because of this interview. Like a lot of people are praising this as the second CM Punk coming, as far as like him coming on the not Jericho's podcast, but whose podcast was he on?
Which
Cole
one?
Cabana.
Yeah,
Yes,
Cole Cabana's Art of Wrestling.
They're saying this is like right up under that as far as like how telltale it is.
I don't even think it's right up under that.
You'd say it's side by side.
This is side by side, man.
I think it's like right below. Like CM Punk went in on them.
Yeah,
But
like,
CM Punk was coming in from a different place.
Very true.
Heart.
Yeah.
I don't hate CM Punk for coming in from that space from his heart. But you just said it. Moxley came in from a humble perspective.
True.
And it was so professional and clean cut. He didn't stab. He didn't jab. He just told the facts.
And the best part about that is that WWE, you have to think at some point Vince was like, oh yeah, he's definitely gonna come back and do a couple more Shield promos, and that's not like he knew he was never coming back. And you never say never in WWE, obviously, but he was. Like the WWE built this man up to like come back the way they let that exit happen for him. Now, if they had known he was going to go do what he did, do you think that he would have had the same send off, like Shield send off?
Are you like deaf, blind, and dumb? Like I saw this coming like 50 miles away.
But do you think WWE would have created? We knew that was going to happen.
Triple H saw this coming a mile away. Triple H is an intelligent man. Like Triple H saw this coming a mile away. He's a very intelligent man.
Yeah, but that's Triple H. That's not Vince. And at one point or another, Moxley or Dean Ambrose was one of Vince's boys. Like Ambrose has gone on record as to saying him and Vince were cool at one point before the shit show that creative and Vince McMahon threw his way these past 6 years. So I think at some point they thought he was going to come back and it was going to be a Shield reunion. So it's like, give him this great send off. He goes and takes a break from wrestling as he stated he was going to do.
You mean a $500 send off?
I mean, it's not the first time they've shit on people like that.
At least he got something out of it.
Facts. Did you have anything else, Jake, that you wanted to talk about concerning the Moxley interview?
I think that the one thing that we should totally talk about is how Chris Jericho absolutely shouted out Renee. Like, I know, I get like they were at their house and stuff, but like he was legit just like, oh, hey Renee, what's up? Like, I was like, oh my God, like my guy, you like that could get her into some trouble indirectly, but still can raise some heat. I mean, which is weird in itself because like that's her house, right? Like she can't just not go in her kitchen, right? But at the same time, with the way that Vince thinks or the way that we perceive him thinking, it could honestly land her in some hot water. Another thing that I thought was really interesting too was I can remember in the report coming out about Ambrose being angry about the hokey shit, right? Mm-hmm. And then the following week he comes out with the Bane mask on, and then he gave us like an inside look at the gas mask and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is exactly what he's talking about. Like this isn't what he wants to do, and for this guy to completely not understand his character at all, like that ultimately is what is where the frustration lies. I think with not just Moxley but everybody.
Yeah.
So I honestly, like, I just, like, again, it was a huge shock factor for me, but I wanted to point out those two things. It was just kind of funny how, you know, you can have that thought in your mind and you're just like, yeah, like, that's exactly what he's talking about. So overall, though, it's curious to see where this is going to go from here. I know that Meltzer reported today on Wrestling Observer Radio that 10 superstars have inquired about their release. He doesn't have any names, but there's some speculations that it's like guys like the Good Brothers, Sasha Banks, obviously, Robert Roode, and other superstars like that. But those are just speculatory. We don't know them to be facts.
True. And a lot of those guys, not Robert Roode, but like the Good Brothers, their contract expiring at the end of the year anyway. So they're out the door regardless.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people commented and tweeted it, and they had a great time watching Double or Nothing, which rolls us into WWE for this week, right?
Yeah, the response, right? Because everybody for the longest time has been like, oh, well, you know, Vince does better with competition. Vince does better with competition. Well, if the first Raw and SmackDown are any indication of where they're going from here, nothing's changing.
Shit show.
Less wrestling.
A lot of people stated, and I was just reading on Twitters, and because, you know, I'm new to the Twitters.
Yes. Welcome.
To the Twitters. So... God,
wow, so you got to kick my mic too?
Like, right. So I don't usually... This mic situation is real.
You got the mic etiquette.
Like, yeah. I kicked...
A bull in a china shop.
I kicked Blake's, and then I, like, hit my ring. Yeah.
You apologize to the fandom. Okay, apologize to America real quick.
America... Suck my ass.
Oh,
That's
nice.
what I was waiting for.
Like,
heel shit.
So, you know, get to the point. So... Vince is supposed to work great under pressure, as you stated.
Right.
But I just think Vince, sometimes you have to be frustrated. I think he's just frustrated. I think Monday showed his frustration.
Yeah.
He was frustrated on Monday. He didn't really know what to do. A lot of the moves he made, just to recap Raw, thinking about it, Baron Corbin is, Vince knows, we all know at this table, Vince knows, everybody in the world knows that we all hate Baron Corbin.
Right.
What's the bigger fuck you to, you know, the universe to just make him the number one contender for the belt?
For the Super Saudi show though, so it doesn't even count.
Right. And then they're trying to hold on to the smart thing that they did. Well, the not so smart thing.
A
and
smack
the
to the
thing.
face, but smart low key was not having Brock cash in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I like that segment between him and Paul about, you didn't tell me I had to wait a year. I could wait a year.
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that
They
a
hit
lot.
I thought that was really, really cool. They were thinking at that point that, you know, at this point, this is the gun. This is your only gun that you have. Let's just hold it.
Right.
I think Raw had some great spots with Ricochet and Cesaro. Was good.
That's a great feud.
Yeah.
If that turns into more than 50-50, that's going to be fun. A lot
Bray
of fun.
Wyatt, again, killing the show.
Firefly, win.
That was the best part of the show and still has been the best part of the show overall the past 3 or 4 weeks.
It was so amazing, man. Like, I really enjoyed it. It just keeps getting better and better every week. You know, what saddened me was Rey Mysterio was gonna relinquish the title.
True, but we all knew that was gonna happen.
So. I didn't know his injury was so severe. You know, like a separated shoulder, I think, which is a big deal.
AJ's hurt too
at his age.
Yeah, but I heard AJ's was minor.
Yeah, it's a lower back injury. It's been undisclosed. Or they're playing it off as a lower back, but he's gonna miss some time.
So the point I want to bring to the table though about Raw specifically is the electric chair, gentlemen. Do you think that segment should have happened?
So this is so funny because I didn't watch on Monday night. I watched the following day on Hulu, and
they edited it
on Hulu. Yeah, so the AEW line was not on the edited version.
They did the same thing on their YouTube channel. If you didn't watch it live on Monday, then you didn't hear that line.
Right. They cut it out, and so Seth's music just hits, and I'm like, okay, well, what's this? You know, everybody was freaking out about this Monday night, so where was it? And it wasn't there. So I was kind of like, that's interesting, because you would think, like, they took shots at TNA, but they're not going to take shots at All Elite.
It took them forever to get to even mentioning TNA, though.
That's true.
So here's the thing. Some people said it was a shoot. Some people said it was scripted. Either way you go, and we'll talk about Double or Nothing. It's coming. Trust me, I'm super excited. But shoot, work, whatever. At this point, Monday should have been a show of all shows. And it should have been, if you're going to throw a middle finger out there, if it was work, if you're going to throw a middle finger out there, you need to go all in. Like, at this point, every chip on the table. Because I don't know if they know, Triple H knows, that meme I just put up, last week, it knows that they started a war with WCW years ago. And in some of the same fashion that Cody Rhodes just started a war with them. This is war.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready. Get ready.
Come October when it's
Most
weekly.
Most definitely. So, do you guys, again, do you feel it should have happened, though? That whole electric chair segment, should it have happened? Which way how would you done it differently?
If they were going to edit it out the entire time, then I said no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what's weird, too, is because this is where that scripted, not scripted argument comes in. A lot of people are saying it's scripted, which for Vince, it makes sense because right now, Sami Zayn is his voice. I thought the segment itself was kind of stupid. It was a little hokey.
Yeah.
I thought the questions, I'm hoping they were pre-screened because those were some really horrible questions, like out in the audience. And that's not what like typical wrestling fans would ask. Like, it would have been about AEW.
Right.
It would have been about more important shit, about how he hasn't done anything since he's come back, about how he's lost every match since he's come back, about how they don't know what the fuck they're doing with him other than he's a heel.
Yeah.
Stuff like that would have came up. I thought it was a shit show then. I was like, you're going to do this every week now? And this is supposed to be, that was on the third hour of Raw, so it's supposed to be their rawest hour, so to speak.
Right, and it was nothing raw about it.
There's nothing different.
Bro, this was a repeat. Like, the last 2 or 3 Raws with both champions coming out, there being some type of shoot building up towards SmackDown. Like, it's just been a repeat of each show. It's getting tired.
We'll just segue into SmackDown, right? Like, because I don't want to spend all day on, like, I don't mean to disrespect, but trash product, like, at this point.
Right.
Because it is. But SmackDown, I think Kofi and...
Dolph.
No. Kofi and Kevin Owens, their match was decent.
At least they had a match at the beginning of the show. Like, Raw, we had like an hour and a half before there was a match.
With no wrestling. It was just segments. I liked the Xavier Woods Dolph fight.
I think it went on too long.
You thought so?
Way too long.
I thought it was kind of comical.
Because then he fucking came out and cut a promo right at the end of it and was like, this is still happening? Like,
Right.
I thought that R-Truth getting the title at the end of SmackDown
that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh, and at this point, y'all know I love truth. Trust and truth right now with this 24/7. I hate the title.
Hashtag trust and truth.
Trust and truth, man. Hashtag trust and truth. It was cool to see Elias finally win something, gentlemen. Remember last week?
Temporarily.
Hold on. Remember last week? What did I say?
You said,
what has Elias done? What has he won?
That's so sad that this is his only credit.
Right.
And then this week, he won something.
Yeah, he did.
He got it.
They gave him a paper championship for 5 minutes.
For five whole minutes. Then Roman Reigns just squashed him.
It's the best 5 minutes of his life.
Right. And I also like what they're doing with the ladies. What they're still rotating between Bailey, Becky,
and Charlotte.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, and Lacey as well. Lacey caught that foot to the face though this week. I mean, all them toes went in her mouth. I was like, okay, is this a porno? Is this wrestling? What is happening?
Did you guys see Becky's new finisher?
I did not.
She did it Monday on one of the Iconics. It was one of the two.
Okay, and what
but
is
it's called the Manhandle Angle Slam.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much a modified rock bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, like
it's
that.
just
That
a
move she
Uranagi?
did. Yeah, that thing she
my
did at the
God.
like the end of the match. That's her new finisher.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank
Samoa.
God.
She needs to learn from Samoa Joe how to do it then.
Yeah.
'Cause,
It looked pretty bad for the first time using it.
I'm trying to tell y'all, she just need to have a stunner.
Well, that's what's crazy too. Is she posted on her Instagram? It had to be over the weekend that she was with Stone Cold Steve Austin in the ring and they were working on movesets. So
Perfect.
why not give her the fucking stunner? They gave her the rock bottom.
Perfect. Though.
Why?
Like, I've said it 1,000 times,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I hate Becky because she can't talk on the mic and she can't wrestle. I mean, no offense. It's just what it is for me and her. The only thing she has is whoever's writing her lines, Paul Heyman, whoever it is in the back is writing it. They're doing a great job.
Decent.
They're selling her, but the person isn't selling me. Like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, I mean, I think it makes some sense. She kind of gets stale after a while because of the fact that she's a submission wrestler, and that in itself is boring.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. This is Dean Ambrose's or John Moxley's interviews kind of like changed my perspective on a lot of things now.
Well, of course,
creative wise,
yeah.
Like we already knew, but it's like
a lot of the time we blame the wrestler, but in reality, it's like she's probably pitching so many things, and I'd say
rejected.
1/10 of the things are getting approved. You know what I mean?
Because it was kind of like what he said, that WWE doesn't know how to leave their hand out of things that are already building heat.
Look at Rusev.
Yeah, Rusev was fucking huge, but they won't let anybody get over.
Right.
They won't let anyone
Organically.
get over. Yeah,
Organically.
and I think that's obviously a control thing on Vince's part.
Right.
Because he didn't. This isn't something he approved of.
Well, he's and this is another thing that
The organic build is the best.
Yeah, that's the one that makes most sense.
Right, Rusev Day was nothing, and then it became one of the greatest things ever, and then they ruined it. Even Lana Day was fine, but then they ruined it when they turned Aiden heel, and now Aiden's a commentator. So it's just they don't like things doing organically forming, like you said.
It just pisses me off.
So as we wrap up on WWE, like I just want to start off to say that Double or Nothing proved to me that WWE is like softcore porn, and AEW is like hardcore anal. Like
Jesus,
they.
That's what we're going with. That was your comparison.
AEW went hard, like they did, and I have my feelings on the show itself, but the idea and the vision that I see for AEW is huge. So,
what do you think about? Let's start off with the battle royale in the first. I know. Blake is very high on it. I was kind of like, okay, like I was kind of like, it made me question a couple things. Like obviously to get it out of the way, Hangman won, right?
Yeah.
And it left me some questions like, well, then what would have happened had Hangman actually had a match on the card?
we talked about this last week. I said, who gets the most benefit
Out
of winning?
Right, and I think
we
that
had no answer.
I think that Pac pulling out was kind of their saving grace because it felt to me like they didn't have a plan. Although I would say that if MJF it was the winner initially slotted to win, that's a story in itself. 1, 2, that would be fucking awesome. But it is.
Yeah.
We'll get to his stuff a little bit later, obviously.
And just tinfoil hat here, because technically it's not tinfoil hat because this shit's already happened. Here's what I think would have happened had the Neville Pac-Man match happened. Not Pac-Man, Neville
Pac and Hangman.
Yeah, happen. I think that Moxley would have debuted Battle Royal. He would have won, and it would have either been him or it would have been Jericho or Kenny fighting for that. Because now we have a Kenny and a
You're
Moxley.
getting Kenny Moxley, then you're getting Jericho Hangman, which is fine.
Yeah, I'm
for
excited
the inaugural
they're
show.
both going to be
belt.
amazing.
Yeah. I thought that it was a lot of fun. Knowing a majority of them helps a lot. I know, like watching it with a couple people that had never really been familiar with it. Watching a person like Luchasaurus come out, you're kind of like, okay,
he was fucking amazing that whole match.
No. I'm just saying, like the spots will help him get over, but like initially, you're like, what the? Okay,
true. And he just officially signed, by the way, with AEW. Like he's with AEW. Like a lot of those guys over in the Battle Royal aren't with AEW. They were just working the show.
I feel like Dreamer's one of those guys.
Yeah, obviously, there's no way they were going to sign Dreamer
because he just pops up wherever.
Yeah.
But I thought Jungle Boy was impressive. Jimmy Havoc, obviously. And then
I didn't know Jungle Boy was Luke Perry's son.
Yeah,
looks
that's
just
what
like
I was trying
him,
to
don't
say
he?
last week. It was I couldn't remember his father's. Neither one of us could remember his father's
And when I
name.
looked at his face, I was like, why does he look like somebody I know?
And that's exactly it.
And then where I was at, they were like, that's Luke that's Luke Perry's son. And I was like, what? Like, it was pretty exciting to, to see him. And he was actually really good. I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, and he's super young too.
Yeah. Everybody looked great though. There was like, who do we have? We had Ace Romero with the dive. What'd you guys think of Sean Spears in his green contacts?
Oh God, I thought that he looked interesting. I thought he looked a lot like his new look. Kind of reminds me. This is a little off, I guess, but it reminded me a little bit of Connor from Ascension.
Yeah.
Did you get that
I
too?
See that, yeah.
I was kind of like, huh, okay. But I thought that he did well. I think that he's going to do well in the company too.
Well, he hasn't officially signed with AEW yet. He's still working shows, but he's also said he wants to work on the indies a little bit more.
Oh,
he's
okay.
Like back with
Well, that's cool.
like as much as I hate to say it, AEW is a corporation now.
That makes a ton of sense actually, because he did a podcast recently with Edge and Christian, and he never said exclusively that where he was going. He just said that he wants to work.
Yeah.
So for the longest time, like we knew he was going to show up at AEW, or at the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess he falls under that dreamer category as well. I honestly, it was a lot of fun compared to a lot of the battle royals we've seen. There were no real lazy spots in this one. I thought, like, sometimes watching like the Royal Rumble, like you'll see like somebody like Kane, for example, like we'll just like chop somebody in the head, and then like
you expect the Kofi thing every year.
So I thought it was
I thought
fun.
the Glacier Miss was cute.
Yeah. Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Did you like Sonny Kiss's his tiara?
Yeah, like Sonny Kiss, like, so I didn't know what to expect because I've never seen him wrestle. Now, remind everybody, like, some of these wrestlers, I have no idea. I've heard of them. I've never seen them, right? So I can read about them. I know what they do. I know their sticks and everything else, their gimmicks. But when I see it in action, I'm just like, holy shit. All right, well, I can see it. It all makes sense. He's going to be a fun person to watch.
Yeah.
Right. I love the 6-1 line by the amputee.
Thomas.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was dope. Like,
Going into the what was it? It was the 619 going into the 450.
Yeah, going into the 450.
Havoc looked amazing. The hardcore thing came back with the stapler gun.
That was cool.
Yeah, and the cigarette with Joey Janela.
Yeah, dude.
That was great. One thing that scared the shit out of me was Joey Janela hitting that table. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I saw.
I watched that replay like 3 times, and he didn't look like he landed right. I was like,
not at all.
And the way the table cracked, I was like, oof.
Yeah, rip Janela's back, but he's fine. Obviously, we saw the vignette with him and Mox.
Yeah.
Let's get into the actual show. I want to talk about the opener, and Teron and I were kind of critical on SoCal Uncensored and Strong Hearts.
Are you wanna skip the Sammy Kip match?
I mean, we can brief back. We can just
Panda Boy.
We'll just do it real quick, I guess. What did you?
So excited.
What did you think of it? Well, I'm trying to get to the show, man. I'm excited.
Well, I thought Sammy was really great as a heel and a face. Like, you could tell he could play both roles. Obviously, they were going to give it to Kip because they need those UK fan bases because they've got that UK deal now, which is great. It's better than WWE's. So I knew Kip was going to win because of that aspect, but I thought both wrestlers looked great. They both had finishers. I love how cocky fucking Sammy was. It reminded me of like a young Randy Orton. Like, I loved every bit of him.
Yeah, is he signed?
Yeah, well, no, not officially yet. I know he's working some shows with them, but there's no reason they wouldn't sign. Like, Kip is signed. So
Nice. Good things to come for that match. I agree. I think Sammy's going to be a good heel moving forward. Whether or not, I think he'd be a good counterpart to Jungle Boy.
yeah,
But I think Sabian going over made sense. I think we called that on the pod anyway. So.
yeah.
But now let's get to the actual show, the opener. Like I said, Teron and I were a bit critical.
And again, I want to remind you that this is the real. All In was kind of like my first kind of
taste of
it, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm watching the show real time. So AEW is trying to grab me,
right,
as a watcher, right? If you're going to be the alternative to what I'm used to,
WWE.
I need something that's going to draw me in, right?
Yeah.
So I will say overall, this show drawed me in. Like I told you, like, it's WWE should be worried.
Of course.
But it is some things in the show that needs to be looked at and needs to be critiqued. That first match, I think a couple of matches, I'll start here. I think a couple of matches, if we'd have moved some things around on the card, I would have loved it more.
Yeah.
Like the Battle Royal should have been on the main show.
I was going to say that should have been the opener.
And we said that the Japanese women match should have probably been on the pre-show.
Right.
I would have given the main event. If anything, I would have put that tag team match that
with Jack Evans
pre-show.
Yeah.
Well, who?
With the Best Friends and Jack Evans and
debatable.
It
was
a good match.
It was a good match. But
no, let's go back to SoCal.
So I enjoyed this match. High flying, hard hitting, fun to watch.
Strong Hearts were impressive from what I saw.
They were. It was a lot of sloppy spots in this particular situation.
They're still green,
right? And then the other thing that I didn't understand is if your eye wasn't on Scorpion Sky,
Scorpion,
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah,
that boy
in his veins, dude.
He to me carried that match, and I didn't hear his name enough.
No, I felt like Christopher Daniels had way too much match time, and
True.
For his knees being what they are, he should not have been. You know what I'm saying? I thought Frankie Kazarian also looked really good too.
Yeah,
given his injury history,
one of my
it was fun to see him.
Biggest griefs for Double or Nothing, and this was like more on the negative side, and it's not so much a negative as in it's something that's not going to change because this is their first show, but the announce team in general, like Jim Ross is obviously a legend, but
I thought that Excalibur was good. I thought the other guy was like
who
talking
is the
too
other
much.
guy? That's who I want to know. Who is the other guy? Yeah, I know you'll be able to tell us, Blake.
Nope, I actually don't know his name. I only wrote Excalibur and Jim Ross in my notes.
His name's Matt something, but
it is Matt something. But I feel like all three of them didn't mesh well.
No. And I think that could come over time, but ultimately I think that if it was just Excalibur and Jim Ross, it would have been fine.
So if AEW is going to be different, this is just me. I know we're getting off on a tangent. We're talking about the matches, but if they're going to be different in their product, and if somebody hears this that has power, 2-man commentary teams
outweigh 3
is where it's at.
Yeah, just
when it's 3 of us here doing a podcast, that's something different. Call and action is a whole nother situation.
True.
I think a 2-man team is way more potent than 3 people. And I think they need to cut it down across the board. WWE does as well. 3-man, it's too much going on. It's too many thoughts. You don't get to attach to the person that's helping you navigate the story.
Right. And I think that's what helped Jim Ross and Lawler get over so much was that there was just no in between. You had Jerry making fun of whoever's out there, and then you had Jim Ross giving insight.
With the more technical.
Right, with the actual like knowledge of the moves, you know. Lawler was a great color guy, and I think that Excalibur is a good color guy as well. I think that he's also really intuitive when it comes to matches as well. And Jim Ross isn't what he used to be. He's not Mauro Ranallo either, but he holds his own, and he's a legend in itself. So I thought that those two were really impressive. The other guy just kept speaking, and I was like, dude, like it's okay.
Go back and watch the video. Every time he would talk out of turn, Jim would tap him.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
I was watching Jim Ross's hands.
They don't have a mesh. They haven't meshed together yet, and I think, like I said, I think the two team makes more sense. The rumors is that King is coming to AEW.
Oh yeah.
So that we could get Jim Ross and King back together.
And I would love it.
And not fall asleep during the show.
Yeah, I would love it. And you could say 2 old ass men, right?
That's
but
fine.
those 2 old ass men have more energy and more knowledge in between the both of them. And chemistry. And that's what you need on a commentary team.
Yeah.
You got to have it. If you don't, then you're going to fail. I think that SoCal, though, back to the match, they had great mic skills. Like in the beginning, when they were cutting that promo.
Daniels was singing.
It was so good. Like I enjoyed that whole like segment.
It's like AEW's New Day.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, but I just think the match focus was just on the wrong person or people.
Yeah, like I said, I thought Chris Daniels should have kind of stepped to the side.
I give the match probably like maybe a C+.
I give it a B. Next was the women's.
Next was the women's match with Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, Kylie Ray, and
fucking Awesome Khan.
Brandy Rose was giving me Stephanie McMahon realness. Like,
I called that on the pod last time.
Oh God, she was just giving me so much like I'm in love with Brandy Rose.
Same.
I am.
I told Tina that's my actual wife. I was like, she's already have my last name. We're good.
Right.
Like,
right. She's good. And I don't know why.
No.
WWE didn't see. She's good.
Yep. She's amazing.
Through and through. She had another spot. We'll hold on to that one.
Yeah.
She had another spot.
Yeah. But I thought this match was really good. I felt like the weakest one was Nyla Rose, and I love Kylie Ray.
And Nyla Rose is just to throw that out there again. I know we mentioned it last show, but she's the first transgender wrestler to be signed to a major promotion.
That explains her colors, but that does not explain the big red hand that was on her vagina. So I get now the color scheme of her gear, but I did not big red hand on her badge. I mean,
there could be some symbolism. We don't I'm not familiar with her.
First of all, I'm a part of the gay community. I don't know about big red hands on your badge. So ain't nobody chime me in on that. So I was a little confused on what was going on with that. I see Baker and Ray.
Yeah,
I can see that feud being a thing.
I love Smiley Kylie, by the way.
Yeah. And Smiley is
Kylie Ray impressed me a lot.
Yeah, she was
Britt Baker uses Adam Cole's finisher.
Oh, she is good.
Just to remind you.
I really enjoyed that part of the match. I think that having Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose in the match was a great balance as well.
It was a good diffuser.
Right. It was a great balance. So they paced the match very well. It did have some sloppy moments.
Yeah.
Right.
And it did have some pacing issues. However, they performed well.
I was going to say, the last 5 minutes of that match were great. After that bad stair spot where Nyla Rose tried to spear her through the steps.
Yeah.
Spear Awesome Kong through the steps. I thought the stuff with Kylie and Britt in the ring to end the match was awesome. So,
and this shows AEW's the women of AEW and what we should expect from that women's division.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That match itself, for me personally, I give that a B+. They went out there and performed, and again, it's just a little slight, but it's nerves, right? It's so much going into a brand new brand, right? And you're the leader of this brand. You're the people that's representing it. So it's gonna be some nerves.
And it was the first women's match for him, I think I agree with the B+ as far as grading goes.
So let's move on to the next match. Was Best Friends versus Angelico and Jack Evans. And I just want to say before everybody, because I know we're all going to kind of agree on this, Jack Evans was the most impressive in this match.
Yes, he was.
First of all, when you talk about Jack Evans, I'm gonna let you finish your thought. But Trent Beretta was out there looking like a full-fledged snack. Let's just start that right there. I was like, okay, Trent, I remember when you want nothing, and now you just looking, you all together. Let's go.
Dude, but going back to him, man, he smallest guy out there, biggest voice of them all.
Yep.
Heels heel. We're just as best friends as they are, kind of a thing. I was like, this kid's going places.
That 630 splash.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't remember the last time I've seen something like that.
Yeah. I will say, I was so funny because last week I was really excited for Angelico. After this match, I felt he was the least impressive of the four.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Which is
who are you excited for?
I was excited for Angelico last week, but
who?
The guy, the big highlighter guy, the one that
you mean Highlighter Kane?
Yeah.
Like Highlighter Kane.
Yeah.
That's his name. He's not in Angelico. Highlighter Kane is what we're calling him. So going forward, Highlighter Kane. Go ahead. You can continue.
But no, I felt it was so funny because I felt that was probably a case of nerves in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought that Jack Evans outshined everybody else in this match. I think Trent was second, obviously. Chucky T was okay. That splash that he did on the outside where he jumped over the ring, did the flip, was pretty cool for a big guy.
It was.
I ultimately thought, and I told this to Tehran earlier, I said I felt it was kind of a spot fest. So, there were some spots, and this has to do with their production since their second pay-per-view ever without a lot of the camera angles that they decided to do for this match really kind of showed the staging, kind of holding a guy in place so a guy can get a move on him, and that was a big problem for me that I noticed in a few matches, not just this one, but this is the one where it happened a lot.
I particularly like the camera work.
I did on some of the matches.
It was something different
where
to
the
me.
camera completely missed a move.
I thought some of the pans were pretty cool, right?
It was
some
just
of the pans
fresh to me.
and it was fresh, so it wasn't just the one camera angle in itself like they do on Monday Night Raw, but there are some instances where they should have panned to a different camera or panned out because there were instances where I saw, for example, there was a spot on the hardest part of the ring on the apron where Angelico was going to do a move. And he spikes the head of, I believe it was Beretta.
Yeah.
And you could see Beretta stay in that spot for a long time. And I'm like, okay, something's about to happen. And then it happens and you're like, Beretta, why didn't you just get out of the way?
Sure.
From a sports perspective, you got to be like, okay, well, dude, let's move. You know what I mean?
So I would have graded this overall match a lot higher if it wasn't for the ending.
Yeah,
the ending with Super Smash Brothers coming out.
Yeah, right. Because nobody knew who they were.
Exactly,
Not even Jim
the
Ross
commentators didn't know. That's
Wait,
the biggest
wait.
thing that bothered me.
I was ready to ask you. Those guys were badass.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
With their zombies.
They were coming out to "Who are you?" chants. You don't want to hear that. And it's like if the announce team can't even announce who it is that's attacking these people, like it just looks bad.
Yeah, it was it was a problem.
Hearing Jim Ross say, "Who are these people?" like over and over again, like I was like, are they going to tell him who these people are for their debut?
So who are they? I'm serious.
They're called the Super Smash Brothers, which is lazy. I think they should redo that name.
Can they do that?
I don't
Maybe
know.
Bros is spelled with a Z. I don't know.
I'm like serious.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
they're using it. They haven't been sued yet.
I mean, Nintendo could easily file some cease and desist if they wanted to.
So are they Super Smash
Brothers?
Yeah.
So who?
Literally.
Okay. Again, we're having a moment here because I'm learning. The guys that made the throne, which I thought was super amazing, are they a part of them too?
That whole group was a part of them.
Yeah.
So that's one.
It's a huge, big ass clique, bro.
Yeah, it's a huge like ICP.
Yes, that was a perfect. Yeah, ICP. They are the Juggalos of wrestling.
I thought that was fucking dope. Like I was like, okay. And then they was setting up moves, and I was like, all right. Like I was buying into the whole entire thing. It felt like a takeover to me.
Yeah.
In that match though, I agree with your rating of a B. I put B plus. Highlighted Kane and Chucky T was kind of boring to me. They were just the big guys that just happened to be there.
Guys,
yeah.
You need to keep your eye on Mr. Jack Evans.
Right.
Mr. Jack Evans, all of his moves were clean. You can see that Mexican upbringing, with his wrestling style.
Yeah, with the triple A.
Like you could see it. Like I mean, it was just he was good. And I just couldn't keep my eye off of him. The mic work was good. He was just a solid guy.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the Razor's Edge buckle bomb.
Yes.
That was dope. Like, it was so many great spots, to your point.
Yeah.
But I do also agree that it was a spot fest.
Another thing I want to praise AEW on before we move on to the next match was the commentators coming out with what the rule sets of each match were. Like, this one had a 30-minute time limit. This is like
30-minute time limit, an hour time limit.
Yeah,
very old school, right?
It's a lot like New Japan does. Like it made more sense. I was like, I'm glad they did that because it shows that there's like repercussions or there's like things that could happen if they don't do this.
Right.
Like WWE is kind of like Wild West in that sense, where it's like, oh, we know that there's a 10 count on the outside of the ring, but they never say anything.
I like how they specify it's the referee's discretion for the 10 count.
Exactly.
If he wants to count, he's going to count.
Except even when they mentioned between like that or the referee's discretion on whether a match ends. So
I thought that was really cool.
Yep.
So the funny thing is the AEW conversation. I'm gonna take a lead on this next match. Okay. So these Japanese girls, right? Let me tell you what I was expecting when this came around. So we seen wrestlers like Io
Shirai.
Io Shirai.
Asuka.
I always
Asuka.
Asuka, the Pirate Princess. So in my mind, I just had an idea of what was gonna happen, right? And then Kong showed up, Japanese Kong.
Yeah, Asha Khan.
Asha Khan, looking like a fat Rafiki from the Lion King.
Weak.
Jesus.
I was like, all right, this is gonna be some hard hitting stuff. Like it's about to get on.
Yeah.
And it was kind of tame to me.
She didn't really do much either until the end.
Right.
Yeah.
The spot with the kendo stick in the trash can was probably the best thing in the whole entire match.
There were some good high flying spots, and the entrances were fucking dope.
Right,
like,
but
there's
then
nothing you can tell me that the entrances
The
that built up the match. I was like, all right, cool.
We had Freddie Mercury did a dope ass hair whip thing to it was.
You saw
that was Amy Sakura.
You saw fake Okada, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then what really turned me off about this whole entire thing, and they have to find a way to translate this and make it better. The botch at the end.
Oh, that was the ref thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the ref thing.
It just turned me completely off. So for
it was a mishap.
Yeah, for a person that's again you're trying to grab in. When I'm looking at something like this, and I paid $50, I want it to be clean and
perfect
and precise, right? And maybe you have to have a Japanese like referee out there, or somebody that's fluent. So it all goes smooth.
Fly out red shoes.
Well, the librarians were the refs for most of the matches.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't even know that was going to be their role.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it's interesting. That was on her too, and it was like they went back and not necessarily redid it, but like kind of started where they stopped.
Yeah.
I thought I'd probably give this match a B too. I know you're probably going to say C or D, but like I think it was good as far as like the showcase for what they have women wise. There were some good spots. That ending was horrible, but I mean,
they just get a hard D, man. Like they should have been on hard.
You're
The hardest
hard
part
D?
of the D.
hard D, huh?
That's what they should be on right now. They should have been on their goddamn pre-show, like cleaning it up.
I agree with them being on the pre-show though, but I can see why they didn't.
Well, now let's get into where I felt the show completely 180'd into just must watch. This is what we signed up for, and that's Cody and Dustin. The throne thing speaks for itself. I thought that the sledge, Brandy coming out with this, bringing out the sledgehammer, Cody saying "fuck you," and here we go.
We are the new royalty,
and the pyro.
That's what I got from that
and
too.
And the pyro.
Yeah. We are the new royalty.
Yep.
Right.
We are here.
He holds the pencil, dog.
He walked out, and again, it's not. Triple H and Stephanie still strong.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They're still a power
they both
couple.
can rule kingdoms, right? But I think that in a way, this was Cody saying, "Y'all two need to step up because Brandy and I are ready."
Right.
You know,
Right.
this is what it's about. The future. The war isn't about WWE getting brought out. The war is about making them step their pussy up till they get to a point
Make wrestling great again.
Right.
where they make wrestling great again.
Yep.
Make
Done.
it must-watch TV.
Put it on a fucking t-shirt, Keith.
I think it is.
Like, I mean,
It's already somebody beat me to that one.
I'm just saying though, but this is the point.
Well,
This was the call out to me. That was the call out. That's what I saw in my head was Cody talking to Triple H and Stephanie.
New age coming.
Yeah.
This is
We are it.
Right.
Let's go.
right. And I thought that was awesome. Then I thought that Dustin's entrance was really cool too.
Yep.
Him just walking out. The entire match to me was impressive.
I loved
didn't
it.
expect this match to be that way, and I thought that the way they shot it reminded me of an old WCW match.
Yeah, and I think that's what they wanted.
Did you get the
It was on purpose.
You got the
Yeah.
Nitro vibe?
Yes.
It was on purpose. With Earl.
Yeah.
Earl Hebner.
was out there. Yeah,
Earl-
he kicked Brandy out after she
Yeah.
With Earl, and then
hit Dustin with the ring.
I was
Ring
trying to
bell.
also notice a
Yeah.
spot where somebody came off the top and rattled the ring, and Earl
Yep.
shook on this like old school Earl. I
Yeah.
just enjoyed a lot of things in this whole entire match.
Yeah.
I got notes, but I don't even need my notes because everything is
Because you can remember it all.
Yeah.
is all here.
That power slam, both power slams from each of them.
Yep.
Awesome.
Bro, Dustin was doing some shit that I didn't even think he could do anymore.
Oh my
like,
God.
I was like, how is he? What? Like, stuff that they wouldn't let him do in WWE.
He did the flip over power bomb.
Yes,
and
that shit shocked me. And I was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The sunset flip.
Yes. There were so many
It
spots
was
that
so
Dustin
many
had you just didn't
crossroads.
expect.
Yeah. There's so many
It
crossroads.
was the Cody's crossroads, Dustin's crossroad. I was just like, oh my God, this is
Such
is
a
awesome.
good match.
Yeah.
It's
To me, that was
awesome.
match of the night. Like, that beat out Jericho
yeah.
and Kenny, that beat
Yeah.
out the Young Bucks. Like, that was like the match you had to watch.
So let me ask you guys a question. Why was that the match of the night for you? Like everybody feels it's the match of the night here. Why though? Because it
I
did
know.
what?
Storyline.
I was gonna say I know where you're going.
And
with
wrestling.
this story.
Good storyline in
It
wrestling.
told a story.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that I felt the show, because it was their first show, I felt that it lacked, and that kind of like ruined that side of it for me in the first half.
I was
because
about
you
to
didn't
say,
have those
that's-
vignettes. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like you didn't have like Kenny sitting in a room saying like, "Well, fuck Jericho," or you know what I mean? Or you didn't have the Lucha Brothers saying, "We want our titles back."
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So like those were the stories, and this one obviously like
But if we could have fixed
Wrote
the card,
itself.
remember what I just said in the beginning? If we
Yeah.
would have arranged the card a little bit differently, the conversation would have went. Even the energy in the room has went up.
Yeah.
From this point.
Oh, yeah.
Just because again, the first part of it was like, oh, okay, I'm here, and it was good. You know, like
Yeah.
you just gave me just a tip though, like you know, like, and we wanted the whole goddamn thing.
Oh,
you
my
know,
God.
like that's it, right?
And you think they did that on purpose though? Because like the first couple of matches is a showcase of talent. They obviously didn't have a story built up.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the last minutes, the last couple of weeks, there's no way they could have built up a story. Like they tried with the Best Friends on being the Elite a little bit. With them, you know, being mad about being in the Battle Royal, so they wanted their own match to showcase their talent.
Right.
So it's like they tried, but there's only so much you can do. So the last half of the show made sense.
Right. Well, that's what I wanted to kind of say too. All in all, when I left the show, like when I exited out on Bleacher Report Live, I said that TV tapings are going to help them. YouTube clips are going to help them. TNT, you know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
TV deal, everything is going to help them be better. Like this is just a showcase show, as well as the storylines we know.
Yep.
I'm curious what they're gonna do before Firefest. Obviously, like I believe that's where you're getting Moxley Janela, right?
Yeah, and they already said that Firefest and Fight for the Fallen are not going to be pay-per-view events, so they'll probably be live streamed from YouTube.
But they made it real clear what their pay-per-view. Cody,
He said, what, every couple months?
He said, yeah, I'm not making somebody to spend $60.
Yeah.
For a pay-per-view
Every month.
It just doesn't make sense,
especially with no payoff.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest thing for me that he said every match is going to have an ending, no DQ endings to keep prolonged storylines. Everything is going to have wins and losses, which is why the people bitching about Kenny Omega losing on the inaugural night, that's what's going to happen here going on. Like from here on out, that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Is people are going to lose, and we like wins and losses matter, but people are gonna have to
that's okay. That's okay. And it's okay to find a middle ground where you do get a DQ every once in a while. You sprinkle it.
But it's more sport than entertainment, which is what we want.
He didn't say superstars. He said professional wrestlers.
Exactly.
The professional wrestlers that work for our organization.
Yeah.
Which was awesome for that.
Before we move on to the next match, there was one huge spot that was fucking hilarious. Was Big Brother Dustin spanking the shit out of Cody with his own weighted belt.
Yes.
It's fucking hilarious.
We can't pass by the
and DDP.
Yeah, DDP coming out to grab.
Yeah,
Brandy.
I thought that was great. I didn't think Brandon was gonna pick a side.
No,
I really thought she was gonna be neutral.
I thought she was gonna stick with her man.
Yeah, I figured she was gonna stick with Cody too.
But then she showed what she. They're making themselves the power couple.
They are.
They
That's
are.
good.
You know, and I'm okay with that. DDP came and got her, drug her ass to the back. I thought that was good. Somebody should have brought a tampon out for Dustin.
For Dustin's head. Oh my god! Then when he put the blood on his chest and shit, I was like, "Whoa, here we go."
Somebody was like, "Oh, this is not real blood." And I'm like,
"Nah,
girl, look at this man. This because Cody's a white dude.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He was turning like iron color, and that's what happens when blood. You know, when you turn orange.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that guy's turning orange. His hair is turning orange.
Yep.
That is real blood. And it just kept going. And
the ending was great too. It was like, you don't get to retire on my show.
Yeah.
Well, that was a throwback. Cool. They did a throwback to a Dusty and Dustin thing that they did in WCW.
Yeah.
And I thought that was amazing. It was a
great
way to call like homage to their father. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it most definitely. So we go into the AEW presentation of the belt. Here we go. You ready? You ready for how I feel about this belt, Blake?
Everyone's favorite.
To be fair, though, I sent you the exact same scheme. Like what I sent you drawing wise is exactly how the belt looks.
And Tehran is our very own belt expert.
I wouldn't say expert. He's got some trash ass belts that he likes.
He loves the white belt.
I'll give him props. That's a good belt.
The white belt is so amazing.
It's nice.
But I'm not even going to talk about that. So
AEW did they call it the heavyweight title or just the All Elite Championship?
Championship. I enjoyed the title.
That's actually fucking shocking. I was expecting you to come in here and trash the title. I was like,
I thought it was.
I'm gonna have to fight Tehran.
I thought it was a little bit big and gaudy.
It does look big and gaudy though.
It's a championship belt.
It looks
like a championship belt.
But it looks like the combination of Impact's title and NJPW's title. So you can tell like those are where the inspirations come from.
Well, what was it, the prototype or the drawings that I sent you? I can't remember what title they based it off of, but like their prototype, like if you look at the old title, what they actually based it on to what it looks like now is pretty accurate. Mm-hmm. Like what they tried to incorporate. Mm-hmm. So.
But it's a little gaudy, a little big, but I enjoyed it. Bret Hart had a problem holding it up because it was so heavy.
I wish we could have fucking posted that. Now that I'm thinking about it, like we actually had what the belt looked like for a good 3 months now.
We did. We most definitely had a conversation around it.
Yeah.
The highlight of this entire thing was Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
MJF.
Good God, he was great at the press conference. Mm-hmm. And then, like, everybody's like, fuck that guy. He's
he doesn't break character.
And then he comes in, kayfabe, Brett, watch out for the fan.
Yeah.
That is funny as hell.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God.
He's such a dick.
It's such, this guy.
He comes out with his scarf. Like,
in my notes, I was like, this is what a heel should look like. Yeah. Every day of the week. The watch out, Brett. Here comes a fan. I lost it. Like I was like up. I was standing up. I was standing up in somebody's living room, like yelling for this guy. The other thing is when Heyman was talking and he cut him off and said, "Hold on, Seabiscuit."
Yeah, that was I lost my shit. He was like, "Nay."
I was just like,
he's
what?
like, "Would you rather have the future in your title match or a horse?" Yeah. Like I was like, "Oh my God."
He's like, "I'll get you some sugar cubes afterwards."
You know what's so interesting too is that he is only 23 years old.
That's wild.
Right. he's a 96er. He is 23 years old, and he is that good already on the mic. Like,
oh my god, he's done his research. He knows who his inspirations are.
He knows his character.
He put them all together and made him. I can see his inspirations, the layers that he uses of people.
Totally.
A little bit of Chris Jericho, a little bit of The Rock.
Yeah.
Even a little bit of EC3s in there.
Oh yeah.
Like, he had it's there.
Yeah.
But he still rises to the top. I know this guy, and he is on my radar.
100%.
This kid is burning up.
Yeah.
Watch him.
I told you. I said put him on there, and I'm glad that he is there. But
I think everybody that they had come out for that spot, Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, and MJF, those are all people that they're going to build up.
I feel like it's their mid card.
That's what we were saying, is that's their mid for now, but eventually MJF will join that Power 5 that they have. So let's move on from that. Actually, another thing, too, that I just want to throw out there. I thought that would have been more fun to do after the Battle Royal. You probably wouldn't have gotten the same MJF promo, but I felt like, if Brett comes out after the thing and is like, well, this is what you're fighting for, Hangman, congratulations. I felt like that could have been a little bit better on the placement of the card. But at the same time, it is what it is. I'm not like salty about it. I thought that it was well done in itself. I definitely thought that Brett was taken aback by the fact that MJF came out with such a strong thing. So I was...
He was so taken back, he fell off the stage when he was...
I was about to say, he heard himself get out of the fucking ring.
Yeah.
He heard himself get out of the ring, then he fell off the stage. I said, God damn it, Brett. Get your shit together,
It's not one event, it's another, right?
But now let's go on to what I thought was my favorite match for the Marks, and that was the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros. The story here coming in was Lucha Bros were mad that white dudes were holding their title.
Yep, as they should be.
And the Bucks were like, we haven't wrestled in 3 months, so how's this gonna go?
Yep.
And I loved the spots where Jackson Bros kept hitting each other on accident, just fucking up. There was one spot where I believe it was Matt fell off the turnbuckle or fell off the rope. He's going for a springboard and he couldn't get up there the first time. I thought that was good. I thought that was good storytelling. And then the Lucha Brothers. There were some times where I was like, dude, Penta, shut up. Like, he kept doing the no fear. Spot, like, the no fear. I was like, dude, we get it. Yeah. Like, you're not afraid. Like, we get it, man. After the 10th time, it's fine.
So let's just wrestle.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a weak point in the match. I thought all the spots were fucking awesome.
The super kick party was great between all four of them.
Yeah.
Super kick party was my favorite. I like the spot where they were on the top rope, kick to the face, jump over to the other rope, and then Hurricanrana, I think, was off the top.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, that knocked me out of my socks, man. I was just sitting there going crazy.
There was another move that scared the shit out of me too, watching. And I think Phoenix might be hurt because of this. They haven't confirmed, but it was the brainbuster onto the turnbuckle.
To the top rope.
Yes. That was fucking terrifying. And I was like, it looked good as shit, but like from a human standpoint, not like, just concerned for their health and well-being. I was like, that doesn't look like he should be able to get up from that like that.
I thought that...
That's his new finisher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it should be.
Yeah. I mean, that was the one that he was teasing.
Is that the one?
Yeah. That's the one that he's been teasing.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. I thought that the spot where... I thought that they went for the Meltzer driver, which is always so... in my opinion, it's always great. But I believe it was before that he does a flip. I believe it was Matt does the flip, or no, it was Nick. Nick does the flip to take out Phoenix, and then he gets up there and does the driver.
Yeah.
That to me was awesome. I think a lot of people, the people I was with, didn't know what that was. They thought that spot was pretty awesome. They thought like that was sick. Everything that they did was fucking awesome. So like it was hard to really pick out one spot. But I came in with high expectations and I wasn't disappointed, which I thought was a good thing.
I mean, FTR, man, like, you know what I mean? Fuck the Revival. Again, these boys bringing what tag team wrestling should be.
Oh, speaking of fuck the Revival, did you see that on his coffee cup at the beginning of the show?
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've got to be sending each other messages.
They send each other messages back and forth.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, again, another point I made, story and tag team wrestling.
Yep.
These boys know their craft. They should never break up. Like, they should be old as shit before they go their separate ways.
The rock and roll experience.
Yeah. They should really be senior citizens before they.
I think Impact tried that once, right? They tried to split up the Bucks one time, and it just didn't work because they're not single stars.
Wasn't that a TNA? I know
that's what I'm saying.
They tried that
TNA.
in New Japan for a little bit, but it was like they had singles matches, but they never really officially broke as a tag
those
team.
Boys, they made a statement of what tag team wrestling should be, what we should expect from AEW's tag team division, and even with Trent and Highlighter Kane.
T.
Yeah, Highlighter Kane's
leave that man alone.
Highlighter Kane, dude, you got a new name.
But no, like I think that, and another thing too we can take out of this is because how stacked their tag team division seems to be. The Lucha Bros can always end up doing stuff with mid card and with heavyweight and with like the main stuff. So like,
True.
If you want, you can get a match with Penta and Kenny Omega
Again,
or you can get like Jericho versus Phoenix. You know, like the former high flyer versus the current high flyer. That kind of mix. I don't know. There are a lot of different
I will
options.
say though, in that whole entire match, before we move on, not Penta. Yeah, I love Penta. Phoenix got lost for me.
Oh yeah,
he just got lost.
I think that he had the least ring time, and I think that he did that on purpose. I don't know why, but I felt like
we know he could have been injured going into the show.
Saying.
Since they both canceled like their event right after that.
Right.
But you see him? Did he get lost for you?
Yeah,
he just got lost, and I was so excited. I've heard y'all talk so much about
Phoenix and Penta.
I wanted to see. I know Penta. I got introduced to Penta at All In, right?
Yeah, All In.
Yep. So, watching the match, I really wanted to see more of Phoenix.
His little brother.
Yeah, and I just didn't see a lot. So I hope I get to see some more of him.
Yeah, I honestly think that the injury thing might actually be legit. Maybe that's what it is. But also, I mean, not Phoenix, excuse me. But Penta's probably more comfortable with being on those kind of stages, being that he's had more main stage American matches on pay-per-view. So, like with his time in TNA and different things. So, overall, though, I was super happy with the outcome of this match. I can't wait to see what they do at AAA. I hope. Obviously, I think Lucha's gonna win that one, but this was fun.
I think that's the only reason they didn't win was because it keeps the Young Bucks on TV. It keeps the AEW main, like they're the brand on TV.
So let's talk about the number one heel
in the world.
Right now, right? Chris Jericho.
Yep.
Chris Jericho is the man right now. He's found a way to reinvent himself yet again. And they showed the faces of Jericho.
That was great. That
in the beginning of the match. It was so great. It was, I really, it took me back to, and I remember as they were going through, I just remember the times that I saw him and what he was doing at the time, the belt he held. And I was talking about, like when he was in this ring gear, he had this song, he was this.
Yeah.
And, so on and so forth. I thought that was really cool. For a 48-year-old man, Chris Jericho went in there and held his own.
I think this is where I'm going to shock you a little bit, Teron. I was disappointed in this match.
Okay.
I actually was too.
Yeah, like I expected so much more. And honestly, their first match in New Japan, I thought was overrated. I thought it was good, but I thought it was an overrated match for what people were praising it for.
You thought it was overrated?
Yeah, because Kenny carried that match. Like Jericho looked out of shape as shit the first match. This match, he looked a lot better. And there were a lot of missed spots that shouldn't have been missed. There was a lot of sloppy wrestling that shouldn't have happened during this match, especially when you have high caliber wrestlers such as Omega and Jericho. And I thought the ending was kind of sloppy. Like, I get that the Judas Effect is his new mainstream move, but it was like, yeah, and it just, the way it ended just looked weird. Like,
fast,
yeah.
Like, I didn't know if somebody went over. I mean, I imagine somebody had to have gone.
Well, the thing that told me that the match was kind of sloppy, honestly, was Jim Ross. So I just want you to go back and think about it, and go back and think about the pay-per-view and the pacing. Jim Ross's commentary picked up more and more. Like, so by the time you got from what match was that? The Cody Rhodes match is where he started to kind of pick up, right? And he started to become the Jim Ross that we know. I knew something was kind of off with the match when Jim Ross was like, "That's the ugliest DDT I've ever seen in my life," and I was like,
"Yeah,"
which it was, So it's a lot of sloppiness in there. But I do commend Jericho because the last time you and I watched Jericho, I was like, "Is this supposed to be something special?" Remember, I asked you. I was like, "This match is trash." The first time they fought,
Kenny carried that whole match for them.
Right,
there was a lot of hardcore spots, but it just wasn't like Jericho was sloppy as shit. Yeah.
But so this time Jericho was prepared. So I do commend Jericho being prepared. Should this been the main event match?
No,
absolutely not.
Should have been the main event.
Dustin and Cody should have been the main event match.
Yes.
Again,
I can see why he didn't put himself in that placement, but
but he should have.
Yes.
In that point, I understand why he didn't, but he should have. Because if you think about, if he would have closed the show out with the Throne Breaker and all that other great stuff, that would have been really, really cool. Great stuff. But you really couldn't do that because of what happened next.
And I was about to say that the build up for this at the end was Moxley's debut.
Yeah.
Did you see it? Did you see it coming? Like that?
No.
I didn't think that he would come out through the crowd, right? I thought that
His Shield entrance?
The music would hit and then bam, but no, I was completely wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that if anyone was going to come out, it was going to be traditionally like music hits, then you come out, but no, that crowd spot was awesome.
Yeah, this man came in and made a statement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, dirty D's all over. Just give it the referee got dirty D's.
Everybody.
Kenny Omega got dirty D's. Did Jericho get dirty D's?
Yeah, he did.
Jericho got dirty D's.
Yep.
This dirty D's. Then Kenny Omega got another dirty D's.
On top of the chips.
On top of the chips. Like,
that's going to be a fun match.
That is.
I really enjoyed the way he came in. And he deserves everything that he's getting right now.
Yeah.
That man worked hard. He been through a lot of shit. Yeah.
I was happy for him, and you could tell that he was loving it. He was the biggest star on that stage at that moment, and for him, that I feel like from his perspective, that's surreal.
So how I feel right now about AEW as a new fan, if y'all follow our Insta and our Facebook and our Twitter, you can tell I run social media for the most part with the help of Blake, but I'm a fan. Like they sold me, right? However, this was a C+ show, maybe a B.
I'm giving it a B+ to an A. Maybe an A-.
You're a dirty Mark. You're a dirty Mark. You're a biased Mark, and that's okay. We love you for this. You are wearing an Elite T-shirt.
I am.
So, but I'm kind of leaning towards Tehran. I felt like the ending of it outweighed the entire show. The last 3 matches outweighed the entire show. There were bright spots in a few of the matches in the beginning, but I felt like as a showcase show, going into it with people that should have been introduced to it, they didn't get the full experience. And that's where I felt it missed the mark. So I would give it a C as well. How they could do it differently, I'm not too sure. I don't book it, but I felt like if Jim Ross doesn't know who some of your superstars are, that's a problem.
I think it only happened with the Super Smash, but yeah, that was an issue.
I just think going forward, this is what will make AEW successful. A 2-man commentary, like just take it back to 2-man commentary. Jim Ross and whoever else you want to use. What's his name that was up there with
Excalibur
was
and Matt
good.
something.
And I enjoyed those two together because they had good moments and it seemed like it was chemistry there.
They didn't do battle in the pre-show like before Ross came out. Like I think just the mesh of all 3 of them didn't make sense. So the 2 make sense, but like Excalibur and Matt doing the pre-show and the Kit versus Sammy, like I didn't have any issues with them, and they knew everybody. So it was like they were some of those guys that were coming out. I didn't know either. Like I didn't know well enough to carry on a conversation with until I looked them up. So
lean on story, right? Great story and great professional wrestling will take them a long way. No power trips. Cody and Brandy need to stay as humble as they are now, 10 years from now when they're super successful. And don't blow your load early. So you can't have Moxley come out this month and bang a CM Punk in November. I don't want to see that. I want to see hold off. Get like a little bit at a time.
There's going to be another big debut with the next pay-per-view, I think, and they kind of need it just to keep the train running. So I mean, like, that's where I disagree with you.
You can't drop the hammer every time though, Keith, because it becomes it's not the hammer anymore.
Then it becomes like the Royal Rumble where you expect it to happen.
Right. Like,
well, no, I understand that, but we have 2 shows in between that aren't necessarily pay-per-views, but are still going to be on AEW featured products.
I get that, but it's still some people out there that you're very high on that are good enough to debut.
No. I would expect it for their next big show, like not Fyter Fest, not Fight for the Fallen, but there will be some type of debut for All Out. Like I feel like that's coming.
Okay, so you can give me. I think maybe at that point you could give me CM Punk, depending on.
I think you say CM
happen.
Punk if you do have him for TNT.
Yeah, most definitely. You got to hold on.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Hold on to some secrets.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But I think we won't get a big debut like John Moxley had, but we will get some type of a debut, whether it be a Jack Swagger or somebody like that.
And then lastly, I will say, let's just not play in the mud with the wrong people. No Bischoffs, no Hogans.
True.
No Scott Steiners. We're done. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, none of these old heads. None of the old heads.
We're done.
Yeah, if they come back in the same way that Brett came back, like not in a main role, like, hey, I'm just here to showcase something or show off, or maybe a manager talent. Like, I would love to see somebody come back as a manager talent, not necessarily Hulk Hogan, but anybody else.
So we got a show still this weekend.
True.
It's going to come up as well.
NXT TakeOver.
The best thing in WWE right now
is there a WWE? All I know is NXT.
You are absolutely correct, sir. So on the card for NXT, we have Johnny Champion and Adam Cole for the NXT Championship. We have the North American Championship being
Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream.
Ooh, Jesus!
Can't wait.
That's
going to be a good match.
I'm so excited about that. You have Riddle and Strong.
Can't wait for that either.
Io Shirai and Shayna Baszler.
And then the ladder match.
And the tag team match.
Yes,
right?
the 4-way tag team match. It's a ladder match stipulation between Street Profits, Undisputed Era, obviously, Forgotten Sons, and Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch.
So, I think for me, I'll just talk about the first one. So, Dream and Breeze. This is a match made in heaven.
Do you know what sold me on that was when Tyler Breeze came back and he said if you ask to get called and nobody calls you, that means they don't want you. He's talking about his pants. Call me up, Vince. I said that is fire as hell. Yes.
I like how Velveteen makes Tyler Breeze look and feel irrelevant.
Right?
He is the better version. I'm better than you.
He's like, I can handle the spotlight that you couldn't handle up at the top.
I'm the better you. Let's go, But Tyler ain't letting it go. I think what'll be beneficial for this match here, you got the Prince versus the Prince. They're two princes, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
It's time to crown the king. Breeze needs to win this belt.
He needs a win in general.
And then Velveteen moves up to the heavyweight division.
Mm-hmm. And you still have a rivalry.
Of course, yeah.
Going up. But, Breeze put in his time, but Breeze also needs to be in a place of humility to understand that the NXT Championship right now is not his goal.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you need to put Velveteen back in that championship run because I think this is going to be an Undisputed Era pay-per-view.
Do you feel that way? So the next match, you can pick whatever one of the two. Do you want to talk with the Undisputed Era member in it? Go ahead, pick one.
Well, heads off. I mean, we have Riddle versus Strong. I think Strong,
that story is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
But I think that Matt Riddle's lost on the last pay-per-view. I don't see him losing, especially after beating Adam Cole. I don't think, especially he beat Adam Cole clean.
Yeah.
So why would he lose to Roderick Strong?
Because he did beat Adam Cole.
I mean, I guess that's a good story, but at the same time, if it has to do with interference from Undisputed Era, I could see something like that. Maybe early in the show, Undisputed Era comes out, helps Strong win, and then Strong doesn't come out to help Adam win.
True.
That could, but overall, I think that from a Matt Riddle standpoint, to lose on back-to-back pay-per-views isn't going to help his stake.
But it's also NXT, so it's not to shit on them, but it's if you lose an NXT in a big match, no one's going to remember because 2 pay-per-views from now you'll have a belt. So that's their mentality.
So what I've learned from NXT and to Sami Zayn and to some of the other people, NXT is about the face chasing the heel. That's what it's about.
Yeah,
that's where they get their best TV, and they can do it 1,000 times over.
With Gargano and specifically, yeah.
Right. We've not seen Undisputed Era reign supreme yet.
Yeah.
We haven't seen them go crazy. Mm-hmm. If you put literally all the gold, with the exception of one, I keep getting about North American title, but we can get.
Well, no, but you could eventually build up to that too, and have Strong versus Velveteen or Strong versus Breeze.
Or you don't have that, right? They teased the breakup already. This is in my mind, and the only thing that throws me off, 10-4 hat moment. The only thing that throws me off, they already put new merch with 4 people on the shirts. Mm-hmm. What if Strong is the only person without a belt? And what if he's not? What if he feels he's not worthy, or what if they feel he's not worthy to be in the group because he doesn't have gold?
So they give him
which is funny too because which is funny because he's the one that helped them win the tag titles, not Fish.
Yeah,
right. You see what I'm saying? So they're setting Strong up in a way where he can go both ways. He could stay Undisputed Era member, or he could break off, and then him and Gargano can team up
Yeah, I mean that'd be a nice.
Against the bad guys.
Mm-hmm. Roddy is a good face, but Roddy's also a really good heel, so he could do both. He's a good tweener, so I could see something like that. That'd be a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm sold completely on the let's do Undisputed the entire way. Like I think from a heel standpoint, yeah, but I also think that they should probably have been called up a while ago.
True, but I feel like this is a long time coming on NXT.
Well, to his point, you think about it, right? What you just said. Well, why are we going to waste time calling people up when we need to hold off as long as we can?
Facts. Because all Vince is going to do is ruin them.
Like, we need to hold off until October. Again, the Undisputed Era, big guns.
You're right. No. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Experience. Gee, if they do that, dude, I'll stop watching forever. However, in the ladder match with the 4 teams, you already know.
Street Profit.
All day, I feel they should win.
I was about to say, I know you're high on them, so is that like your pick to win?
Oh, they look at the work that these guys put in.
Storyline wise, is that your pick to win, or what do you really feel?
I know that the belts have to go to Undisputed Era in order for it to work.
Yeah,
but
that's your pick. You want them to win because they deserve it.
Oh, they deserve it, man. Like they look at how much work they put into their craft and who they are.
Yeah.
Everybody has a red cup.
Yeah.
Everybody has a red cup.
I would be thoroughly shocked if Forgotten Sons.
They're too, it's too early. Yeah, it's too early for them until Jackson, Riker, whoever I don't care.
They're all the same person.
Yeah. Until he establishes himself.
White people all look alike.
Those type of white people look all alike.
Those
Bama, Georgia gun boys. Anyway.
I feel like Blake is not Blake that's sitting next to us, but Wesley Blake is the ugliest dude I've ever seen in my life.
Probably.
Like, he is a very unattractive man. And I was trying to think about how I could make him attractive. I was like, well, maybe if I cut his hair. Okay. Nope, that's not going to work.
Nah.
Maybe if I should. I was like, nope, that's not going to work. His face is just ugly. You're ugly, dude. Like,
sorry to break it to you.
Like, you're not swimming in the puss. I mean,
no dussy for you.
None. No dussy, no pussy, no nothing. Sorry. Lord. Bye. Ugly self.
But I think with Oni Lorcan on 205 Live, it doesn't make sense for him and Danny to win. Yeah. I think that they're a really good tag team, but with him being on 205, especially because they put him in that 5-way to be number 1 contender.
Yeah.
So obviously they see him as a thing, as a fixture, that show. I don't see that working itself out. So I can get behind Street Profits winning. I can also get behind Undisputed Era. I think Forgotten Sons is too early, specifically because their leader isn't even in the heavyweight title division yet. So that's what I feel about that. I want to talk about Baszler and Io because I feel like Io's probably going to lose this match.
But why?
Oh, you got to wait till October. Got him.
But no, you didn't.
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
You didn't know. You didn't get me because Baszler, she's another one that doesn't need a belt.
But Baszler's not getting a call up anytime soon either. So
I get it, but she doesn't need a belt. She doesn't. We need to start passing that belt around to develop more female talent.
But they had already did that with Kyrie.
No, you know what would be interesting too is if Dakota Kai comes back, helps Shayna lose, and then they feud on their own, no title involved. Io Shirai wins. Io Shirai Bianca Belair. They already have a rivalry.
That's smart writing.
Right. Exactly. Boom. There it is. So
hire me.
All day long.
Anyway.
So
NXT at least.
I feel like Io Shirai deserves this title run. But again, I just want to go back to a point of when we had the 4 horsewomen and we took all of them at one time and then look what happened to the women's division.
Yeah, completely. I mean,
Asuka just rolled over everybody. It was no competition. It was terrible.
900 plus days. Undefeated streak.
Absolute hot trash. Like, I mean, I'm cool with her undefeated streak, but I'm just saying.
But the way that ended, obviously,
she had nobody to fight.
Yeah.
She didn't have anybody to fight. You have to start developing the Biancas and the Mias, which I think Mia's disgusting. But you don't
like the Blatty or the Batty or whatever.
They're just like trying to make her so ghetto, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? This is cultural appropriation.
So you were mad that she beat your girl last night, then? When she beat Bianca Belair.
First of all, I didn't lose because Bianca Belair still walked off with that booty shaking through the parking lot, throwing water at people. So I won either way, So it's what it is. But I see Io Shirai going over. It just makes sense for business. Y'all just y'all just made my thought process real by talking about it.
Okay, so the final one is Gargano Cole. It's not going to surpass Gargano Cole 1.
No.
So I don't know what they do now, but I would like to see Johnny win for confirmation that he stays in NXT. I don't want him on the main roster yet.
You mean 205?
Every time. This guy. No faith at all in my boy.
The rumors is that Gargano's hurt, and that's why he hasn't wrestled the past couple of NXTs in general. So it's like, if he's not, they said he's supposed to be cleared by NXT or by TakeOver. Hypothetically speaking, if he's not, you give it to Cole, and Gargano takes a small break. But then, which frees up whoever wins between Dream and Breeze, and then Real and Strong to go for the heavyweight again. Mm-hmm. So you build another storyline right after that. So, I mean, I want Gargano to win, but realistically, if he's still hurt, then Cole's going to take that, and it'll be an undisputed night.
I honestly feel it's going to be an undisputed night all the way across the board, and I will buy a T-shirt at that point, and I will be an ultimate fan.
Yeah, you're a T-shirt guy, so you're always on the tees.
Yeah, like if somebody's doing well, I'm going to support them by buying a T-shirt. It's the way to do it,
I don't think I have any more WWE T-shirts. I think mine are all New Japan, AEW. I even have a Ring of Honor shirt.
He's a mark, ladies and gentlemen. He's a mark to a T.
Because I believe in a better product.
He's a smart.
It's a better product on the horizon. I do feel the war is coming,
but
I feel like it's right on the horizon. As a wrestling fan,
I feel like, and sorry to cut you off, Tehran, but I think that we keep talking about war and war on the horizon.
Bitch.
Well, anyway, I think, we keep talking about war, and NXT 25, TakeOver 25 is Triple H's response to Cody Rhodes. And
which is sad because that's his developmental program.
But at the same time, they consistently put out better content than anything on the main roster. So Gargano Cole 1 is my match of the year still to this day. I know Tehran disagrees, which is fine, but that to me,
disagree.
Okay, go for it. Anyway, so but what I'm saying is this is his direct thing, so I wouldn't be surprised if this show tears the house down 100%, like just kills it. Like, for us to come away and say, oh, that's a C show for Double or Nothing. Like, if this show is an A, is a home run, then Triple H gets a little bit of a victory.
For the record,
right?
I never said that Double or Nothing was a C show. In
my
opinion,
I wholeheartedly say I give it a C+. I just can't give it a B because you saw that Japanese match with those girls. You saw that first match with
SCU
and the other Japanese. Those
Chinese.
are on the card.
That is the best wrestling event I've seen all of 2019 and most of 2018.
It was a great event, Keith. I can't not say it was a great event.
What WWE pay-per-view has been that good? Please tell me.
TakeOver New York.
I said, well, yeah.
It's the WWE. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no.
Look at
I'm
the ranks again.
Boom.
Look at what I was literally about to say. TakeOver New York. It's TakeOver. NXT is still a part of WWE, Blake, and you have to
let's go main
that.
roster then. What's the best fucking WWE event that's not NXT because that's still their developmental that you've seen in the past 2 years? Because WrestleMania was a shit show, way too long.
Yeah.
What do you have? There's nothing that I've seen that pops out and be like, oh man, especially not since fucking I hate to say it, but since the Cena days.
But it's their first show though. It's okay for them to get they have to find a way to glow up. Think about it. I just can't realistically in real life when I look at the money that you spend, $50, right?
Yeah.
Was that worth $50? I paid $50 for that,
Collectively, you spent $50 on four matches, and that's with two halves of a match.
Did you feel the same about All In, not knowing any of those people? Because we spent $50 for that too.
I watched All In for free on YouTube, so no.
Well,
we paid money for it. I was for All In. Remember, I had so many questions at the end. I was so lost, which was okay.
But Joey Ryan's spot was the highlight of that entire show. So
yeah, the dick.
But
the dick ghosts.
Yeah. I had so many questions. But was All In was this better than All In?
See, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I feel like you're complaining about the price point when we paid for All In and we both enjoyed All In, correct?
Yeah, but this isn't All In, man.
I know, but this is Double or Nothing, right?
They just understand the title says it all. Double or Nothing, right? They should have went double as hard as they went for All In. Hands down.
I got $50 worth of entertainment.
I think that they should have, and this is. I mean, we're going over a lot here, but I think that they should have made more of a point to get a lot of the people on beating the Elite as a thing, or they should have promoted being the Elite more before the show. That way people would go in and be like, oh, that's Trent Beretta, that's Chucky Taylor.
Well, they did. Like if you keep up with being the Elite, like they were featured
but
in
this
every
is
episode.
completely different. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you have watched Being the Elite since I'm sure episode 1.
Yes.
Okay. I've watched it sparingly throughout. Like before All In, I was like in it, and then I fell off, and then I kind of started watching some more of the Dusty Cody stuff.
Well, it's like, what do you
on my
expect
own.
without having a TV?
But what I'm telling you is like this is a showcase show. You should be promoting Being the Elite to those people. You know what I'm saying? Like before, like a month before, if not, or it should have come out word of mouth. And,
but that's, I mean, I feel like if you are watching,
but you got to think about it like this, right? The old school wrestling fans that are like, well, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
What is this? They watch it not knowing what Being the Elite is. They're in the dark, and then they get introduced to these guys that they don't even know.
I don't know what to tell you if you don't have social media. Like if you don't have social media, you're not seeing what AEW, Cody Rhodes, any of the other ones, the Young Bucks.
Who are the people we engage with online? You think about it. We engage with younger people, but we engage with a lot of we bring the older people back to us, like to the wrestling community,
right?
Because all they remember is the Attitude Era,
right?
So it's up to us, like the podcasters, the social media influencers, the WWE, the AEW, being the Elite. It's up to us to bring them back somehow, some way. You know,
I don't think they did a bad job doing it. I don't know. I feel like that's where this argument is like.
No. I don't have a problem with the content. Like, I just don't feel it's worth $50. And I also think the card should have been rearranged where the power was spread out. If the card was rearranged, maybe I would be okay. Maybe if that match didn't involve the whole SCU. Maybe Christopher Day, if he was out of the match. And if it
was like Scorpio Sky versus
if he was like out on the sidelines, like rooting them on, maybe I'd have been okay with it. I don't know. That Japanese match was complete and utter, like it was a train wreck, man.
Yeah,
like that completely turned me off. And then you get to the tail end of the show, and that's where the power was. Right. And I was just like, man, if this was spread across the whole entire event, I'd have been like, yes, I'm super involved. You got to think about the person that's not a mark. You got to think about the person that doesn't have minimal knowledge like me.
That's what I'm saying.
Or like you guys are the experts.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like watching it with people that were just WWE fans for the longest time, and then like fell off during the mid 2000s during the Cena era, right, where he would win every other pay-per-view, winning titles consistently. They kind of fell off, and then they get back into it, you know, as Cena scales out, you know, because of CM Punk, right, in 2014. Yeah. And then now all of a sudden this new popular thing comes out, and it's like everybody talks about Cody Rhodes. What Cody Rhodes is up to, you watch it not knowing Being the Elite, but you know word of mouth, like this is something that might be a thorn in WWE's side, and you want to see why. You want to get your first glimpse at it. And for you to kind of be like, okay, well, why is he like this? Why do they do this? Like, why are the best friends hugging all the time? Why are they called best friends? Why are Super Smash Brothers there? Why are they not being copied infringement? Like, I don't, like, it's just those questions of people that, like, we don't even have answers to because of how we're just kind of ingrained in us. Because, like, we're like, oh, well, they're our ROH products or they're Impact products. Like, it's just, it is what it is. You can't backtrack that far.
I think it makes sense because then otherwise you're building brand new characters for what? Nothing. Like, they don't have a TV deal. Like, they're doing everything social media wise.
For now.
There was nothing else they could have done to, like, I think they did everything humanly possible to showcase their talent without taking from the talent.
They did.
And that's what creators' problem is with WWE.
They did. I feel like they did exactly what you're saying. However, your best talent should be front and center at all times, especially if this is double or nothing.
Right.
Your shining stars, every match should have been, and I ain't gonna say a AAA match because that's just crazy.
Yeah.
You know, but every match should have been a B+ match. You know, like it should not be, we shouldn't be talking about D matches and C matches on the show. We should have been talking about all high B's, A's, and, you know, like AAA's at this point. And that's what it should have been. And I think the match, for me, I understand. I heard Jake's point. I heard your point. For me, I think it was the match arrangement, the cadence of the matches that
you wanted the card rearranged.
To me, it made sense though. Like the only thing I would have changed was the battle royal. That I agree with you wholeheartedly. But like as far as the storyline perspective, like we don't have a main storyline until those last three. Up until then, you have showcase talent.
Yeah, but they didn't sell it like it was showcase talent. They sold it like it was just a match on Monday Night Raw. Dude, I don't know. That's the thing, is that it's so uncharted territory, is that unless you knew who the fuck you're watching,
Well,
you
if you
don't know.
Solution, how do you have an argument?
But at this point, though, they have to glow up. Like, they have to do this to know what to do next. Our next conversation about the next pay-per-view, I bet you it's going to be completely different, because Cody's smart. He's going to go back and look at the product that he put out. He's going to say, yay, we got a lot of praise just because of shock value.
Yeah.
And he's going to step his pussy up. That's what he's going to do. Like, it's going to happen. But I just think that a C+ is great for your first showing. Go back and listen to the Hardest Part of the Ring episode 1 and think about how trash we were then. Now think about us now.
Or episode 3.
Like,
just hate each other.
7 or 8 episodes in at this point. Like, we have a cadence. We have a groove. We know what's going to happen. Like, we have a show. They're working to that show. They need to work out all these kinks, and they need to hear brutal honesty to make sure when they do debut on Monday night that they're the best that they could possibly be. Because we need somebody to make the WWE the best they could possibly be, so we can finally get some quality TV.
I think what they had, not
and I need to see more titties.
I think they did with
titties. That's what I need to see.
Hey, you know what? Just go look up Paige videos online. All right.
Don't talk about Paige. Well, hey, we got heat at the end. Whatever. We appreciate you guys, as always. You can always find us on social media, on
find
Instagram.
Us on Facebook at The Hardest Part of the Ring, Instagram at
The Hardest Part of the Ring _, and also
then
on Twitter.
On Twitter at Hardest Pod, sorry. Oh my gosh, at Hardest Part _pod. So, come out with us, talk to us, give us comments, feedback on this episode, guys. We'll be back next week, talk about the takeover, see if our predictions come true, see if we know what the fuck we're talking about. So
let us know who you agree with.
Yeah, please do, you filthy smarks out there. All right. With that, guys, see you later.